This video is about ET implant removal. All of the information is not necessarily factual. This is just energy that I picked up during an astral clearing and an energy reading. If you're easily offended or nervous about these types of discussions, I would recommend that you skip this video. All of the things that I'm going to discuss here have to do with energy and energy healing, so it's not necessarily something that you're going to see on the physical plane. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and start on the video and talk a little bit about something that I experienced in an energy reading where I did some astral clearing for a client who came to me on a different subject, and it turned out that he needed some entity clearing. And this picture right here shows a very, very accurate depiction of what I saw in the astral planes and what I cleared from him. These types of entities I don't really have a name for. I'm not sure what they're called. There are infinite variations of archons in the astral planes, and so it can be very, very expansive when it comes to mediumship. I went ahead and went into a reading with this man, and he had been struggling with all kinds of issues in his life and in his marriage. And as we went into the actual clearing part of the session, I found a giant, basically a tentacle like what's showing on this picture from an ET that had their tentacle hooked into the middle of his spine in the back. And it actually had hooks in it. So the tentacles that I learned in this session, at least, and I've seen in many others, is that they have almost like a teeth type fix on the end that hooks into them. And they're able to access them in their chakra system, so it depends on which polarity that they're working on, but they'll hook onto that being generally through the chakra system, and then it needs to be removed through mediumship. Advanced mediums are able to do that. And of course, with astral clearing, generally it's recommended that you work with somebody who's already an ascended master soul, because there's lots of issues that can happen if it's not one who's already been fully ascended, because they're oftentimes and generally carrying entities themselves, which can be transferred from soul to soul. In this case, we were able to remove the tentacle, and when it happened, the client actually could feel it. It opened up his chakra system again, and the energy started moving, and it came in a lot of colors and healing and kind of like a soft, soothing energy. But as we removed the entity itself, which of course happened with assistance from angelic guides, and I thought that the session was finished, I let the man go. And later on, I ended up having to go through a whole lot of clearing in the astral myself, because these type of beings are very capable of using all the different tentacles to try to get a hold of you. So they they have like a real sticky energy, and they're able to access from many different angles because they have so many tentacles. Again, I don't really have a name for them. I have no idea what they would be called. I just see them in the astral realms, and I've dealt with them in more than one occasion. In this particular case, it just happened to be that it was a very clever being that was able to kind of sneak up later on and start creating energetic problems that I had to deal with on my own after the client was healed. This is the reason why sometimes, healers need a lot of space and a lot of support when they're doing their healing work, and even compensation, because it can take days sometimes to clear entities and energies like that. For the most advanced ascended master souls, clearing energy takes a lot of work, and we're not just dealing on the physical 3D plane, we're also dealing in other dimensions. And it can be very, very, very energetically draining, because we're dealing with negative beings. We're also dealing with battling for our spiritual sovereignty and for the sovereignty of the clients that we're working with. Basically, we open up our channels to go into all the different dimensions. We astral travel, at least I do, and it takes a lot of work to do that. So it becomes very draining if we're dealing with that on a daily basis with lots of people, and then also dealing with the aftermath, which is really a bigger part of the problem. is that we're going in and doing, you know, astral healing and Reiki healing on the non-physical plane as well. So I wanted to share this with you because there are, again, so many types of entities. I know a lot of people talk about reptilians, but there are so many infinite variations out there that it can become very confusing to people. That's why I recommend that if you're trying to get healing, you really go to somebody who's an advanced medium, because otherwise you're kind of playing kindergarten games with people that really don't know what they're doing. I've had a lot of clients come to me that call themselves mediums and healers, and they get into situations like this where they really don't know how to heal themselves or to heal others. And it can become troublesome if you're going to somebody to heal you and they don't see these types of beings, or they're transferring them onto you, which can very much happen. So in my case, even though I worked with the client and I healed the client, this entity tried then to access my energy. Luckily, I'm an advanced medium, so I was able to see what it was and know where it was coming from, and then to clear myself completely from it, because it was very much of a battle for me because of all of the different tentacles that it had trying to access my energy centers. Sometimes these type of extraterrestrials can leave basically what we call chips or implants in the soul, and it can cause the soul to be prevented from ascending and also to have difficulty with life and happiness and natural, you know, lifestyle. So if you feel that your energy is drained, you feel tired all the time, you feel confused, you feel stressed out, you feel a lot of anger, maybe depression, it's oftentimes a good sign that you're dealing with entities, because that's not your natural spiritual state of being. Namaste, guys. See you next time.